Hey guys, it's me again, Shelly. Today I'm going to do a ring pour. And my paints today are mixed. 1 ounce of my 60%, 40% glue all and water as my pouring medium. And 1 ounce of paint. I'm doing 14 colors today, and I'm doing it on a huge Artist Loft 16 by 20 inch canvas. So it's going to be a big bad boy. Alright, my first color is Liquitex Basics Dioxazine Purple. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a dark and then a fluorescent, a dark and a fluorescent of that color. I have this purple by Crayola. I have Artist Loft Phthalo Blue. The rest of these paints are going to be Liquitex Basics. Fluorescent Blue, Phthalo Green, Fluorescent Green, Cadmium Yellow Deep Hue, Fluorescent Yellow. I had it mix in orange, and I mixed it with Cadmium Red Deep Hue and the Cadmium Yellow Deep Hue to make an orange, and that was this color. I don't know if you can see it. That's the color that I came up with. Fluorescent Orange, Cadmium Red Deep Hue, Fluorescent Red, Quinacridone Magenta, that's a mouthful, and Fluorescent Pink. I'm going to layer my paints in this cup here. So since I have 1 ounce of pouring medium and 1 ounce of paint, that's 2 ounces of paint in each one. I had to put a little splash of water or two in each one to thin it down to the right consistency. Let me see if I can show you. It is going to run off the stick like that and do a mound on a mound, slight mound on a mound. Alright, I'm going to do one layer of each color since I have so much. When you do a ring pour, a straight pour, or anything like that, the first color in is going to be the last color out. So that would be your center. So I'm going to start with my fluorescent pink. And when I fill this measuring cup up, I want to pour down the side so that the colors don't muddy as they go in. Also, one thing I wanted to show you, I have my canvas with my big giant thumbtacks I got off the internet, and I made sure my canvas was level. I also spray the back of the canvas, especially on one this big, because it's such a large surface, it can sag in the center. I'll spritz the back of it with some water, let it dry, and it'll tighten that up really good. Alright, so we're going to start loading paints. Another thing, before I forget, I looked it up, and to cover a 16 by 20 inch canvas without doing a lot of tilting or anything like that, it says you need roughly 14 ounces of paint. I have 28 ounces of paint, so I should have plenty. And I am going to be tilting, so I do need more. Alright, going to start loading my paints down the side. I'm not going to talk much during this because I don't, my husband, when he edits, he's probably going to speed this part up, and I don't. This paint, I don't really want sails. Because when you do the ring pour, it's supposed to resemble like a tree ring pour. So I did not put any silicone, and since I'm using glue, it shouldn't. But I did just mix my paints, and there's a lot of bubbles and air in it. So when I torch it to get the bubbles out, I'll probably get some sails from that. Ooh, really did not have enough room in that cup. Alright. So when I hold this cup, I'm going to hold it like this because it's heavy. The only way you're really going to have any control over it and not hold it by the handle. So I'm going to start off just pouring straight, and then I'm going to start doing my circles. I think I'm kind of drifting a little bit. Get it back over here. As you get to the bottom of the cup, you're going to go slower, and your rings are going to be smaller. Alright, get towards the end. Catch your drip. Ooh, messed up that center just a little bit, but we can fix that. No problem. With a stick. There we go. Alrighty. Kind of got off center here. I'm going to take a little bit of my black like I did. You didn't get to see that video actually because it stopped recording. I'm going to put a little bit of black mixed with my 60/40. Put it around the edges. And this is just to be, it's called a flow extender. And all it does is keeps your paints from rolling over each other and gliding across the canvas better, so you don't lose so much of your outer colors. Go. Now, let me get my gloves on because this is going to get messy. Looks like it's going to be pretty and bright. It's what I wanted. Before I start tilting this, I'm going to torch it to get any air bubbles out. Use my small one. Like I said, you'll get a few cells, which it really isn't even cells, it's just your air bubbles popping. And any paint that's trapped under the air bubbles will come out. You don't want to get too close and burn your paint, especially before you tilt, because it forms the skin and it'll get all messed up. It won't tilt right and stretch. So I'm going to start kind of going in a circular motion to get this paint moving. Taking my time. Sit it down for a second. I'm going to torch it one more time. Get any more air bubbles that come out. Alright, now I'm going to start tilting to the corners, back to the center, to the corner, back to the center, because you want to readjust the weight of your paint back to the center before you go to your next corner, or your whole shape will go, your composition and everything will go out of whack. So most of the weight of the paint is to this side, so I'm going to come here first, go to the corner, bring it back to the center. Alright, the weight of the paint's wanting to go to that top left corner, so we'll keep going that way. Bring it back up, back to the center. Okay. Turn this around so I can have better control. Now I want to go to this corner here. And once you go over the corners and you come back to the center, see how it stretches your lines out? Alright, so last corner over here. Back to the center. Alrighty. Bring this back a little bit. Turn it around. Don't drip your gloves over your canvas. I lost my purples, which I had a feeling I was going to do that because it was on the edge. You do want to take a little popsicle stick. Let me find it. I missed a corner here, and probably up there at the front too. So you just scoop up some of this drip off here, put it over that corner and just let it fall over, create its own design, its own little pattern. Alright, this corner. The sides are good though. As far as my edges, just these corners. Alright, now you always want to make sure you scrape your canvas, because that paint dripping underneath will pull your paint right off and mess up the design that you have. It's about as bad as it being unlevel. Don't drip your stick on your painting. Very bright. I like it. It's pretty. It's different. And this was called, once again, a ring pour. I had plenty of paint, as you can see, to stretch. I'm going to try to take you down and give you a close-up. You know, I'm lovely at this. There aren't any metallics. There was no silicone in here. See my edges of the canvas. And most of those cells are probably from popping bubbles. But for some reason I have get crazy cells no matter what I do, whether I put silicone in there or not. Even when I don't want cells. You see the edges there. Let's go around, see if I got my edges. Ooh, I missed one. See? Got my edges. Oh, I missed right there. Alright. There you have it. Pretty little ring pour. Actually, not little. That's a big canvas. Alright, guys. Have a good one.